Operation of the Fluido AirGuard System shall only be performed after reading the official user manual. For more than 25 years, the 37 Company has been an expert in the field of perioperative hypothermia. We offer a wide range of patient temperature management solutions like Mistral Air, Fluido Irrigation, Thermoflect, and Fluido. Our portfolio for blood and fluid warming consists of two systems: the Fluido Compact, designed for warming low to moderate flow rates, and the Fluido AirGuard System, with the capacity to warm up moderate to high flow rates. The Fluido AirGuard System consists of the Fluido Warming Unit, which warms blood and fluid by using infrared technology, a dry method preventing the risk of waterborne contamination. It accurately warms blood and fluids to the temperature set point up to 39 degrees. The Fluido compressor delivers air to the pressure chambers for pressurized infusions. Foam and air bubbles that might arise are being detected and collected by the Fluido AirGuard. Together, they form the Fluido AirGuard System. Different Fluido disposable sets are available. The Fluido Standard Set, delivering normothermic flow rates up to 400 milliliters a minute, and the Fluido Trauma Set, demonstrated in this instruction video, which can deliver normothermic flow rates up to 750 milliliters a minute. First, suspend an IV bag from one of the Fluido IV pole hooks. To switch on the Fluido AirGuard System, connect the mains plug of the triple power supply cord adapter to an earthed wall socket. The on and standby indicators of the AirGuard and the Fluido will light orange, and the Fluido warming unit performs a self-test. The AirGuard and the Fluido are now in standby mode. Press the on and standby button of the Fluido. The on and standby indicator will light green, and you will hear an audible signal. The display will briefly show all the symbols, and the control thermometer will briefly light green and red. Now, the display will show the symbol that tells you to insert the disposable set. Unpack the Fluido Trauma Set. To insert the disposable set, hold the cassette by the clamp. Insert the cassette into the slot until you hear a click. The display will show the default temperature and the flow rate. To prime the disposable set, first close the clamps. Connect the spike to the hospital IV bag. Make sure that the roller clamp is open. Hold the drip chamber upside down and open the clamps. Make sure not to open the clamp of the unused spike. Fill the drip chamber with fluid halfway and turn the drip chamber in the upright position again. Turn the deaeration chamber upside down and fill it entirely with fluid. Place the deaeration chamber in the holder of the Fluido. Deaerate the rest of the patient line until no air is present, and close the roller clamp. The disposable set is now primed. Now, place the deaeration chamber in the AirGuard. Turn the lock knob anti-clockwise to open the deaeration chamber holder. Place the deaeration chamber and make sure that it touches the upper limit strut. Release the lock knob to close the holder. To place the IV line in the shutoff valve, press the lock knob and pull the counteracting knob to open the shutoff valve. Place the IV line into the center of the shutoff valve and release the lock knob to close the shutoff valve. Switch on the compressor. Suspend an IV bag of 500 milliliters from the bottom attachment point of the pressure chamber door. To suspend an IV bag of 1,000 milliliters, use the top attachment point. Close the door and lock it with a closure lid. To inflate the bladder in the pressure chamber, set the pressure selector of the pressure chamber to plus and slowly turn the pressure regulator clockwise to the specified pressure. Switch on the AirGuard by pressing the on and standby button. The on and standby indicator and the tube detection indicator should light green, and you will hear a click. To start warming, connect the patient line to the patient. Use the roller clamp to set the desired flow and set the appropriate temperature by using the temperature selection buttons on the control panel of the Fluido. The control thermometer indicator lights green when the temperature set point is reached. If the air detection warning indicator of the AirGuard becomes active due to air or foam being detected, the shutoff valve closes to stop fluid administration. To deaerate the chamber, remove the deaeration valve cap. Put a syringe into the deaeration valve and lightly press to open it. We recommend using a Luer lock syringe of at least 20 milliliters. Remove the air and/or the foam until the deaeration chamber is filled with fluid again. If the fluid level increases over the ultrasonic sensor, the shutoff valve opens again. Put the deaeration valve cap back on to the deaeration chamber. To stop the system, press the on and standby button on the Fluido and on the AirGuard. The on and standby indicators will light orange. Switch off the compressor by placing the on-off switch in the 0 position. Close the clamps and the roller clamp on the disposable set. Release the IV line from the AirGuard shutoff valve by pressing the lock knob and pull the counteracting knob. Remove the IV line from the shutoff valve and release the lock knob. Remove the deaeration chamber by turning the lock knob anti-clockwise. Take the deaeration chamber out of the holder and release the lock knob. Press the eject button on the Fluido blood and fluid warmer to remove the disposable set. To continue fluid administration, insert the deaeration chamber in the holder of the set and place it under the mattress with the patient. You may transport the patient with the set to the recovery room or ICU. If a Fluido or Fluido AirGuard system is present, insert the cassette again to continue fluid warming. Tips, tricks, and additional options. If the set pressure is too high, set the pressure selector minus to deflate the bladder. Turn the pressure regulator anti-clockwise and set the pressure selector to plus to inflate the bladder again. On the AirGuard, the sound of the audible alarm can be muted for 3 minutes by pressing the audible signal suppression button. The audible signal suppression indicator will light orange. If the audible signal suppression button is pressed again, the signal will sound again, and the audible signal suppression indicator will turn off. If the audible signal is suppressed, it will automatically reset after the ultrasonic sensor detects fluid. If a problem with the AirGuard cannot be solved immediately, the valve can be manually overridden to continue fluid administration by removing the IV line from the shutoff valve. It is important to perform a continuous check for foam and bubbles in the deaeration chamber, as the AirGuard is now out of use. On the Fluido, the sound of the audible alarm can be muted for 3 minutes by pressing the signal suppression button. The audible signal suppression indicator will appear on the display. If the audible signal suppression button is pressed again, the audible signal will sound again, and the audible signal suppression indicator on display will disappear. The display of the Fluido can show additional information. Press the milliliter button to alternate between flow, volume, flow and volume. To reset the volume indicator, press and hold the milliliter button and press the temperature selection button, minus. Release both buttons. The volume indicator has reset to 0. Some malfunctions can be resolved by resetting the Fluido. To reset the Fluido, press both temperature selection buttons together with the flow and volume button and hold for 2 seconds. The Fluido performs a power cycle to the display and the error should disappear. Do not use the Fluido if the problem persists and contact the hospital service department or the local supplier. For more information, please visit the37company.com. Thank you for watching. The 37 Company, Patient Temperature Management Solutions.